Okay,
Great.
what's the start?
And then Zaina, do you want to start?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
We can all, I mean, yeah, but we'll all just go. Yeah, all three of us can go. And then you get. So we're all just gonna talk for like 5 minutes about our thing, record that, and then we can end the recording, then we can decide, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because the recording is.
Are we doing like are you guys sharing your education and your patient care ideas, or are you guys just doing one and
I
then we'll
was gonna do both. Yeah.
okay.
Both. Do you want to go first? No, you can. Okay. I will second. Oh, the third. Yeah. Okay, so my like clinical tool is called Viz AI, and it's basically like a website that analyzes like MRIs and CT scans and stuff, and then it can like detect a bunch of different things and like notify the provider. So it helps like treatment begin faster. And then it also like um, can improve patient outcomes by like speeding up the treatment. For like example, like a stroke, it'll help detect it quicker. And then some of the risks of this is it is AI, so it's like it's not going to detect everything and it can make mistakes. Um, and then it also does require like high quality imaging so that it can like know what it's looking at. And that's basically it for that one. And then for my education one, I decided to do Notebook LM, which is like, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but it's like AI tools where you can make like a study set, you can make practice quizzes, you can make like a podcast. And then it's super helpful because it'll make like, it just helps studying go better. And then some of the risks for that is like, it's not super specific, but it is like based on the sources you provide it. So you could upload your PowerPoint slides, and that's what it'll base the quizzes and podcast off of.
Period.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Who wants to go next?
Okay, so for my first one, I found Shadow Health. But this is for the educational aspect of it. It's an AI powered like software and platform that you have like virtual patients. So then nursing students can kind of like interview them, document, and educate. It's kind of like a simulated clinical environment. So then the students can just practice on the EHR and then assessment skills and communication. It's useful because it can let students practice with like real life or like kind of like realistic patient scenarios without it having any like negative outcomes if they do something wrong or incorrect. It also can provide feedback to see like what could have been improved. Some risk that it's virtual and it's not like real human interaction. So I feel like virtual can't kind of show like the emotions and stuff. And then it can also be expensive to use this platform. The other one I have is Dax Copilot. It's a charting tool for providers to use with patients. You can like it's like securely and like HIPAA compliant, but you can like record the conversations, and it can automatically chart and document. It's useful because it can save some time with doing the full charting and documentation time, but you do have to kind of go over it to make sure that it caught everything correctly and there's no errors. Also, there could be inaccuracies if the AI doesn't understand the conversation. That's mine.
The third, mine are like low-key similar to hers. The first one that I have is it's called SimX. It's a simulation lab, but it's through virtual reality. And it's just good for it. The students would put on VR headsets and be able to interact with lifelike patients. And it's just really good because you can portray a lot of more trauma-based scenarios and things that and it can interact with the actual student experience. So whatever the student does in real time, the virtual patient can kind of, if they do something wrong, they can start deteriorating. And you can just portray more realistic scenarios than you can with like the really expensive mannequins, and it can be cheaper in that way than trying to do all of it with like the physical materials. But it does have a lot of downsides of like not actually being able to use the physical materials and almost having like a detachment from what's going on. And also a lot of people have reported getting motion sickness from it. And just it can like oversimplify the real human experience because there's a lot that you can't portray through just like virtual reality itself. And then the second one I have is something that you can actually just install into Epic's system already. And it's AI support through it's an AI that listens to the patient conversations and then basically it charts on that clinical experience. You can kind of talk through what you're doing and it'll chart on what you're doing so that it saves time on charting. And then when the AI listens, it can also kind of go through and pull relevant labs to throw into the chart as well, into that note, vitals, medications, things like that directly from the patient chart. The biggest things that are at fault with that though is it doesn't usually account for like accents and it can pick up the wrong thing. It can miss things, so you definitely have to go through it. And then nurses and healthcare professionals can become like very reliant on the AI charting and not checking, and there can be a lot of room for error in that because people aren't being diligent enough with it. So those are my two.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and just, present mine really quick. So the patient facing tool that I found is called ADA. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's ADA. But it's an assessment tool for people to know what level of care their symptoms would require. I went through and like put in some pretend symptoms, and the feedback it gave me was interesting. It said 58% chance that it's like this, and then 2% chance it's this. And so anyways, you can kind of like as a user, you can gauge where like what the likelihood is that you have like certain things. I think one obvious drawback is that patients might not always be like the best at evaluating their own symptoms. And yeah, it can kind of be difficult if you don't have like a background in healthcare to maybe understand some of the language used in the prompts. And then the education focused AI tool that I found is called Sketchy. And it's a way of like practicing. It's maybe not like perfect for like our level, but I still see some utility in it for our level just because, we're always getting test questions that ask like, like what do you anticipate the provider will do, or like questions like that. So I see this as a tool that like could be utilized even in a BSM course or study. So anyways, yeah, you interact with um, patients through this tool. It's kind of expensive, which is a drawback, um, but it allows you to kind of like practice understanding what's going on with the patient based on their symptoms. Um, and that's it.
I could go next. So the AI I picked for patient care is called Clue ICU, my bad. It's an AI system used in the ICU. Analyzes patient data from monitors, lab results, EHRs. Basically, they can identify like respiratory failure or any other complications, vital signs that are going imbalance and all that. Just helps faster interventions. Some limitations or risks would be like false alarms. You can never really truly trust AI. And then the learning experience one is called Swift Skin and Wound. It's like an app. Basically, you take a picture of like a wound and it like evaluate its like size and all that. Basically, students will like just compare their wound assessments with the AI's one. Some risks with the AI one is that sometimes it's not 100% accurate because it's just a picture. So it would be kind of hard measuring the wound size, but for the most part, I think it would help students compare their wound assessments with AI and have a good basis for that. And that's it.
I can go next. So the patient care AI tool I chose was GI Genius. It basically is AI during a colonoscopy, and it helps detect the um, adenomas. So there's actually a 55.1% increase with the GI Genius versus just the standard colonoscopy. Some limitations would be like false positives that they find. And then the education one that I got was our friend ChatGPT. Like we saw in mental health, it can replicate like a patient. So um, it can help with patient learning, patient experience, like talking with patients, and then just like giving NCLEX style questions, and you can prompt it to basically do whatever you want. So yeah.
I can go. Also, I don't know if you guys saw my chat, but if you could put like what Sarah did, like patient, and then say your source, and then student, and then say your source, so that we remember which sources everyone talked about. Um, so my patient care tool is TREWS, TREWS. It stands for Targeted Real-Time Early Warning System. It's a tool developed by a engineer in from John Hopkins. And it basically just detects patient risk for sepsis through analyzing electronic health record data. So like vital signs, lab results, the notes, kind of anything that's in that chart. Um, and it like provides alerts to providers when a patient may be developing sepsis. I'm sure that includes alerts to nurses as well. Um, but it allows for way earlier recognition of developing sepsis. So this can contribute to earlier recognition and earlier intervention. So it improves patient outcomes and like survival rates and stuff like that. And there's statistics provided in the link that I have too. Some limitations with anything AI incorporated into healthcare, it shouldn't replace clinical judgment. And then like false positives can cause for like alarm fatigue and things like that. And then I think kind of like what Jericho mentioned is like AI is like a tool, and like we have to make sure that we're still giving the patient privacy and handling health data with caution. My second source for like education is Reflex AI. It's like an AI simulation training, similar to what Jasmine touched on, like the ChatGPT like conversation simulation. It's sort of like that mixed with like what we've done in, I believe it's ATI, like where we've had certain simulations where you click on what to respond to the patient with. So it's good for like developing communication skills. And it also goes further into like protocol compliance and like decision making. So it's a little bit more advanced than what we've practiced in the past. But with any simulation, it's kind of just practice. It's um, like used as a supplemental resource, but like obviously being in the clinical setting is a more valuable area to learn. But I do think that this simulation kind of prepares you for clinical environments. The risks and limitations, kind of like somebody already touched on, is like simulations can't fully replicate like emotions or the unpredictability of real life patients. So yeah, there's definitely some limitations with it being online. But that's my two sources. I'll put them in the chat.
I can go. So my patient care, sorry, my patient care AI tool is called Tempest AI. I don't think anybody did that one yet. But basically it gathers a lot of data and or it aggregates vast multimodal clinical and molecular data sets to fuel precision medicine. So basically it can use like a patient's tumor and utilize machine learning to like match the molecular profile of the tumor to targeted therapies and clinical trials. It can match patients into clinical trials. It can develop like cardiology algorithms. Some pros is that you can get through a lot of like data at in one time. So like you can like go through a lot of patients a lot quicker than if you were to just do it like by hand, I guess. Cons says here that there's some data privacy concerns because of all like the massive amounts of data that there is. There will always be like privacy concerns regarding that. My student AI one is called Speechify. It basically can turn like a PDF or any document that you have into like text to speech, so it'll read it for you. Pros, high quality audio. So like if you're busy or if maybe you don't have time to sit down and read, you can get it read to you, or like if you're in the car, maybe you can listen to like slides. Cons, it's expensive. It's probably not accessible to everybody, but that's all for mine.
I can go next. Let's see, which ones do I have? So I did for nursing education, I did the iHuman patients, which I think it was Kylie that mentioned the Shadow Health. It's like pretty much the same thing. It's like a direct competitor with it. Um, it's a virtual patient simulator. Uh, you take a history, like do a physical document, and like prioritize different actions on like AI like avatar patients. Um, I think it's just useful. It's kind of similar to our own like simulations we do, but I guess the AI is like more in depth. Um, but it is like safe, it's repeatable. Uh, let's see. It is like it's a supplement though, because like at the end of the day, you're not, you know, it's not the same as talking to a real human. It's not the same as being in clinical. Um, and there's a chance that like that maybe the AI repeats itself, and there could be a way that the answers could get out or something. Um, For the patient care example, I did a Luminetics Core, which I guess Luminetics Core is an AI that screens retinal images for diabetic retinopathy. So it's kind of different from like what everyone else has been talking about because it's a like autonomous AI. So like it diagnoses by itself. Like a clinician doesn't even look at the results. The nice thing is that like a primary care provider, like during a regular visit, could like screen a diabetic for the retinopathy like by itself. And I did see that, what did it say? It said about only 15% of diabetics actually get their annual eye exam. So it's like one of the big benefits of using it. Uh, the main risk obviously is the fact that it diagnoses on its own and like you get, liability questions and there's going to be problems with an AI basically like determining things on its own. Uh, I know like everyone else kind of did like a similar AI where it was like the AI eventually gets read by then like a specialist or like by one of the providers. So this one is a little different because people have to kind of just trust that the AI is like providing the right output. So yeah.
Awesome. So how do we want to vote?
I was thinking maybe we can like start with like patient care and then everybody put like their preference for patient care in the chat.
Okay.
And then after we decide that, then we can decide the education tool.
Does anyone feel like they're super passionate about one?
Cause like I'm kind of like open to whatever.
Yeah, I feel like everyone brought a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I feel like Kylie's would be a good one to present. Like I feel like we would easily be able to come up with like bullet points for it and the fact that it's already able to integrate with Epic, that's another big bonus. Um, but yeah, let's vote.
You're talking about the for the student education one, right?
For the clinical one, I think Dax Copilot, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that integrate with Epic?
I don't know. I didn't.
I know mine does. I don't know. I think
Maybe we could do
it was,
hers then, because I don't think
Ariana's was the one for Epic, where it's like in a part of Epic where it like can pull the relevant labs and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
I was talking about the one that could like listen to what's being said between like the nurse and the patient and chart based on it.
Yeah, that's okay. That was
Co-pilot.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one like that too, but mine just isn't. But it doesn't go with Epic. But if yours like
I don't
works with Epic, hers
I don't
might be better because then
either.
we might be able to like tie it in more.
Because there might be that's what it said, but there might be more research on yours.
Oh,
Mine just said it was like a part of Epic that you could add in. That's like a little like.
mm-hmm.
But it's not like a specific like program. It's just there was a tool. Okay, so that's harder to write about then. That's what I was saying. Is yours a specific program or is it just an added tool?
I mean it's through like Microsoft and stuff.
Let's do yours then, because mine is like it's just an extension to Epic.
Okay.
As far as I understand, it's not an actual like new program. I feel like that might be hard to write things on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we just have to pick one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
But we don't have to pick one from each category.
No,
we do, but for right now, we're just picking one for the patient care
I'll
option.
just pick one.
So what one do you guys want to put in?
I'm fine with
The Dax Copilot?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Everyone go with that? Sarah, Jericho, Audrey have all voted in. Jason's cool with it too.
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Okay, so do we now want to pick one for
So we
the?
only have to do the one?
Is that okay with you too, Lily?
Yeah, I'm good with anything. That one's fine.
And now we pick one for the nursing student category.
Let's see.
Well, this one's the patient care and then this one's the student one.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, did someone say something? Oh. Does someone have a proposal for the student learning?
Maybe this, like, would anybody use the one they found, like, to actually study?
I mean, I use mine to study for like lectures, but I feel like everyone else kind of brought one that's more so like clinical learning. I liked yours. You had like, was it yours the one that was like, you could put things in and it'll give you percentages?
Yeah, that was the patient-facing one, though. But I guess a student could use it too, just to learn about diagnostics. Yeah, the one that I found was not a great choice, honestly, I think at this point. So it's more for diagnostics as opposed to like assessments or like interventions or kind of like nursey stuff.
Does anyone have a
Mine-
preference?
I kind of like the Notebook LS. Because isn't that the one like you can make your own quizzes and all that?
Yeah.
It makes AI podcasts and stuff. I've been using that too. I feel like I know a lot about it.
That one? Anyone else have input? So do you want to do Notebook LM? Is that cool with everyone?
That's good.
Because it's just for student learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like Notebook LM's good. Especially since a lot of us have used it.
Okay, perfect. I think the like recording can end here, right?
Yeah, and then we can do the rest of it separate.
All right.